You can do this. You got this. Oh my God, where did the ground go? You can do this. Oh God, where did the ground go? You've seen better days, little buddy. I thought chickens were taller. I didn't know mechanics were this small. Interesting, I thought it would be a louder explosion. Okay, yeah, that's more like it. What was that? Something's moving.
Hi everyone, did you like that? Now, how you do that? Let me show you. This is going to be your settings, and I'm going to show you how to set up the data sets. The only difficult part is going to be the videos if you want to do videos as well. But you only need videos if you actually want to create a character with voice. Because if you don't really need the voice, if you're okay with Minimax H3 creating the voice for you, then you're good to go with just images. But I did not find a way to only attach audio for the images. Whatever works, it works. So let's go to the data sets. So the first is the video. I tried to auto caption it, it didn't work. So I just captioned it myself. It's very simple. Like you just describe the character vaguely, and then where she is and what she says, or what he says, or what they say, whatever. If it's like an anime character or something. If there is like a background noise or something because they're like outside or they're like in a public place like a restaurant or something, I would recommend prompting that in. Like we can hear distant crowd and the wind in the background as outside ambient sound. Like this is what I used, ambient noise in the background of the restaurant. Like sometimes like that's it, and you don't need anything else. Just make sure that that's in the prompt, because otherwise it might kind of attach it to the character. And when she or he is in like an interior setting and there's like no background noise, that's the best one. So for that, you just kind of say that the background seems like the interior of a shop or interior of a, I don't know, like a room or something. You can maybe, if you want, you can maybe even prompt in like clear audio, but that's not like super necessary. It's not needed. And what you can see here is that I had pretty much very close frames. And this is the only thing where I had to describe him meanly, like, hey, there is like a person there with like a really big nose and whatever. I just wanted to do that to make a complete difference between her and him, so the model doesn't train him into her. Like, that's just something that I wanted to make sure that doesn't happen. So I let the model know that there is a person here that you can see in the corner. Please do not do that. As you can see, with a big nose in the corner of the screen saying nothing. Because he does say nothing in this scene. The best thing, these are 1 second long clips, 512 by 512. They are taking up barely any space, any memory, any whatever. And you can, if you want, you can even use more clips. I did a different LoRa with like 12 clips that were 2 seconds long, because at first I thought I need like that much for like correct audio, but apparently you really don't. You just need really good audio for like 1 second. And maybe like 5-6 clips, as you can see. And then within the images, I also didn't use too many images as well. I just made sure that the images that I have are like really good quality and like different styles. But you can see that they're pretty much very close up, not even any like full body frame or anything. The farthest I have is like this one, where you have like this framing for the character. Yeah, it's a character, but it's a person. And mostly it's just close-ups. And what I did is that with this one, I actually auto-captioned it. So when you do auto-captioning, what you have to do is you just click on this one. This is like a smaller version. There's a smaller model, like an 8 billion parameter model from Qwen3 VL. And if you have like super low VRAM, you can turn this thing on, but I don't think you have to. If you have at least like 12 gigs, it should be fine. And then here I choose 256. Because I just want like a proper amount of captioning. And the only thing that I add here is literally at the very end, I add like an extra sentence that just says, make sure to finish all captions within the token limits. That's it. That's all I add. Because before I did that, before I started adding that, it sometimes kind of never finished the captions. They just kind of got left out like halfway. Like there was like a half sentence at the end that never got finished. So I had to like go in and finish them. But now it just kind of finishes all the sentences itself. So that's pretty cool. sometimes you're gonna notice that if there's like, I don't know, 50, 60 pictures or something, because as I've said, I tried it with like a larger data set, the last like 2, 3, or 4 just doesn't want to do it. So if you see that, you just go back to the caption, you just run it again. But make sure that when you do that, you see that it kind of removed the sentence for me. So you have to add the sentence back if you want to make sure that they're all finished. And then just run it again. I think the most time that I had to run it was like 3 times within the data set when I had like 50 something images. But it does finish, and it does well. Just make sure that you don't click on the recaption, because you're just gonna like recaption everything. It's just useless. Don't do that. You don't need to do that. You just need to finish it. So within here, I choose this one, the Minimax H3, the normal version. But I think these settings are going to work on the Ref2 VA as well. You can choose that as well. These settings are gonna work, and within there you can also add like sort of extra data sets that are going to make sure to like avoid to add certain things of the character to certain things, and like there's like combinations of stuff that you can do. I would recommend watching Ostris's new video on that, because he did like a really cool video on like style transfer, like making everybody look super jacked. Just kind of funny. But for just characters, this is all you need, because for now we're just gonna do this one. And even in the reference to audio video, this is all you kind of need, nothing really else. So what are we doing here? Well, I have a 5090, okay? So this one doesn't need to be on 100 for me. But if you don't have a 5090, if you have way less VRAM, you might need to push this up a bit, or maybe even up to 100, because we are not just using images. Also, when you're using images, make sure that the auto frame count is not on, because I think the auto frame count is just on in general, and then it's gonna because for me it just and I'm like, what are you doing? So I turned this thing off, and I just put like a 1 here, like a number 1, because I'm training images only. This is just 1 frame. It doesn't need more frames. And for me, I was able to train 1024 by 1024, because this is like super fast. It's crazy fast. And I added the videos as well. Here, you have to make sure that you have auto frame count on. Sometimes you even get because of this, or like weird errors because of this. So in those times, you probably want to go in and check the frame count on your videos, because there could be issues with your videos, and you might have a weird error because of that. So just make sure that the frame count of your video is properly done. But normally it should be fine if you just use the auto frame count on, and do audio if you have a voice for the character, and that's all you need. And obviously cache latents for both the images and the video, because that's gonna save you a lot of time and space and memory. But you also kind of have to make sure that you have like enough RAM as well, not just VRAM, because that's kind of important. So what are the settings here? You just add the tag, like the main trigger word. Turn these on, adjust these according to your VRAM. And for me, I like to save like all the LORAs that it creates, but you really just need like maybe the last few. Or if you think that your LORA is super done by like 1600 steps, just put this up to like 15 to make sure that you have all the LORAs. But normally I just save all of them, and then later I just remove them. Here, it's kind of important. I put this up to 0002 instead of 0001, because the learning rate was just not strong enough for me. And here in the advanced, I have differential guidance on 3, and I have this turned on because, as I have said, it was just not really learning likeness. But with this, crazy good. It just goes crazy good. So this is editing ready here. There's a couple things that I really need to mention. As I have said, this works for the Ref2V and the regular version. It will work for both. But when you're doing this one, make sure that you probably want to put this a little bit up if you have even up 5090, because you're gonna have to add like reference stuff, and this works a little bit different and needs just a tiny little bit more VRAM. Otherwise it's gonna start complaining. But this is it. Like if you have a 5090, just this is as far as you have to go. It will be fine. First of all. Second, if you think that the LoRa is a little bit overpowering things, you don't really need to do 0002. You can do like 000 and maybe like 15, or maybe even 18, 17, something like that. You don't have to do 2 exactly. Or you can leave it on 2, but if you want, you can pull this down from 3 to 2 or even 1. As long as you think that the results are fine for you. And also, because this is 3000 steps, you really don't need to go up to 3000 steps. As I have said, the likeness already clicks in around 2400. And sometimes the likeness is really good at 2400. Like for example, this LoRa, I tested it because this is different compared to the other Enid LoRa. The reference LoRa is actually too strong on 3000. The other version of Minimax, where you just do like a first frame, last frame or something, that is fine even on the stronger version. But I think that's why also it doesn't really like to use the first frame or last frame, because the LoRa is probably overpowering, so maybe it's just too strong. So for that, you might want to like lower the learning rate if you think that the LoRa is overpowering, and maybe just use like an earlier version, like 2000 step, 2200 step, instead of like 3000 step. This is all I need to say. Everything else is literally exactly the same, and you saw the examples in the beginning of the video, so just keep that in mind. Keep these things in mind. Okay, let's continue the video. And then when you do your data sets, if you want to do samples, I would recommend doing like maybe every 200 if you have a good card. And if you don't have a good card, you create the first sample at like 1000 steps, maybe even 1200, because that's where you can actually hear the audio, like the sound, the voice kicking in, and the voice is going to resemble the actual character. Before 1000 or 1200, it's really it's a big miss, or maybe a hit and a miss, but mostly it's just a miss. And then the next sample is gonna be around 2200 or 2400. That's where the likeness is also really kicking in. So like the first is like your audio, it's gonna be 1200, and the next one is like your likeness, 2400. That's like a usual what I've seen. I mean, around even 2000 you can start seeing the likeness, but 2400 is where it starts looking like the actual character. So I would say do 2 samples if you have like, if you really want to do samples, but if you don't have enough juice in your card, just do those 2, 1200 and 2400, and you will see and hear what you want to hear and see. And for the captioning, I just used Google, like literally just Gemini. I just made Gemini make me a prompt, and here I added the starting image, but it just, I think this image is broken because I tried it in Comfy UI and I tried it here, and with the LoRa, it's not willing to use the image. With the LoRas, I was able to use any other image except this freaking image. I don't know, I think it's because of the angle, and it's because it's like a really low resolution image, and it just didn't like it that it's low resolution image. But normally it's really good when you're adding your first frame, because it can actually connect to the first frame and use it. But with this one, it just skips it. It skips it in Comfy UI, it skips it here. It's just useless. So I was like, whatever, I guess I'm not gonna use that. You can see this like first sample. This is just turned on because I kind of stopped it around like 500 steps. Because I wanted to check something. When I went back, I turned it on because I wanted to see with my new settings for the prompting if it's actually working or not, and it did work. I accidentally attached an image here, which I didn't want it to do, because this image was both here, and I was like, this is my control prompt. When you use a control prompt, it means you don't have an image added in this prompt, and you don't have an image added here. And the control prompt for me was important because I wanted to see if her likeness is actually starting to, you know, get better or not. Because that's how you're gonna see it with a model like this. Because when you attach an image, the image is gonna work. Even if it's not using the image as a first frame, it's still gonna give it the likeness. So it's still gonna know what it needs to use, but it's just gonna not use it as a first frame. But if there is no image, if it only has to use the LoRa and the description, that's where you're gonna see the control, which means you're gonna see the actual likeness of the character or person that you're trying to create the LoRa for. So that's what I did, and that's why I did it, and that's why I had to stop the whole thing, because I was like, why is there a picture in both? What the hell's going on? And this is what I'm talking about. When you attach the image, it was just there, so I had to stop it and restart it. And it was very interesting because there's like already some likeness here with 500, but then the actual good likeness started turning on around, I would say here, when it was just kind of ignoring, at this point, it was just ignoring the image as well. But these are two small samples. Like the samples are just kind of small for me to actually see what could be good and what could not be good. And I even forgot to like prompt for her eyes. And this is also how you can see that kind of the model doesn't really know how she looks like, because it doesn't even know what her eyes look like. And within the LoRa knows, but I also forgot to prompt for it. Like I forgot to prompt for blue eyes. In here, in ComfyUI, I did not forget it. I actually had to prompt for grayish blue eyes, because if you only prompt for blue eyes, Minimax and even Creo, they create this really, really strong blue, which is not natural. So you have to say grayish blue eyes, which kind of tunes down the blue, and it will actually give her the correct eye color. And you can see that I have the image disconnected here, like I don't have it connected. So what bothers me a little bit in this one is that it puts the propeller over here, which is obviously off the center, but otherwise it's actually really good. Okay, so this is it, and then you just drop everything into ComfyUI when your LoRa is done. And for me, as I have said, with these settings, and regardless if you have like 11 images and 6 videos, or you have 50, 60 images and 12, 16 videos, it's going to be about 1 second 60 for a 5090 to train per like step, which means for me, it was 4,000 seconds to actually train a 3,000 step LoRa with these settings, and this is the result. And for you guys, I don't know what card you guys are using, but for you can also optimize this for very good speed, and you can achieve like a bunch of really good quality results with this whole thing. It's great. I would say that I think this time Ostris and his team and people who are working on the Ostris AI toolkit did a really, really good job, and I applaud them, and this is amazing. And yeah, I think they actually achieved a bunch of things. Plus, I am on Linux, so I just figured Windows was using too many things, too much VRAM, and it was just wasting energy for me. I dropped Windows altogether. I'm not using Windows anymore. I'm using Linux. So maybe that's also kind of an edge for me, but I don't know. You do you. If you want Windows, if you like Windows, it's on you. You can do it. But for me, I just needed speed. And come to the Discord for the workflow and, I don't know, some stuff if you want to talk about. Or go to the Patreon and you can get the workflow there. And there's like the settings. Like I'll probably like upload like a JSON file or something for the settings for Ostris AI Toolkit as well. All right, see you guys. Bye.